Dear friends, welcome to one more episode of Fantastic in the Military World. In this video, we'll talk about the new threats that Kim Jong-Un has made, which say they will have a big impact on relations between the two Koreas and keep peace in that area from happening. The Korean War reached a terrible stalemate in June 1951, exactly 1 year after its beginning. North Korea, with almost 1.5 million Chinese warriors equipped with tanks, planes, and gunnery given by Stalin's Soviet Association, settled in themselves in worthwhile situations along the 38th equal, isolating the promontory down the middle and forestalling the powers of the unified countries, drove by the US, from getting through those lines. A real trench war broke out, resulting in daily deaths of thousands of people. Focusing on no limit to the conflict, exchanges for a truce started in July 1951. However, the cycle was enormously sluggish, with the two sides continually making significant snags and troubles. The ceasefire was at long last marked almost 2 years after the beginning of talks, in June 1953. Among the different troubles looked by the Ceasefire Arranging Commission, the best was without a doubt the issue of the marginal that would isolate the two Koreas. When the Korean peninsula was freed from Japanese control in 1945, Soviet forces moved north to the 38th parallel, and Western Allied forces, led by the United States, moved south to the same point. This effectively divided the peninsula between North Korea, which was indirectly controlled by Stalin and had a lot of influence from China, and South Korea, which was under the influence of the United States and the United Nations, and was under the direct control of the United States. When Kim Il-sung, the grandfather of Kim Jong-Un, obtained assurances of financial and material support, and then invaded South Korea in a surprise attack on June 25, 1950, the situation on the peninsula remained virtually unchanged for nearly 5 years. That assault obliterated the splitting line between the two Koreas, yet filled in as the reason for the division of the promontory under the truce, making in that space the DMZ, the Korean Neutral Ground, a segment of land 250 km long and 4 km wide. In spite of its name, the Neutral Ground is the most mobilized verge on Earth, with a huge number of South and North Korean troopers positioned nearby, upheld by tanks and weighty mounted guns. While everyone knew and understood the landline that separated the two Koreas, neither side agreed on how to divide the sea. Both sides decided that some islands would be under South Korea's control, and others would be under North Korea's. But there was no clear line that separated the Yellow Sea, which covers the western coast of the Korean peninsula. Hence, to forestall possibly devastating errors, the UN drew the purported northern breaking point line, a line those beginnings at the estuary of the Han Waterway, and runs toward the north along the North Korean coast, leaving a progression of little islands exceptionally near the North Korean coast, under South Korean control. Albeit South Korean control of the islands in that district was acknowledged by then-despot Kim Il-sung, the outline of as far as possible line was rarely acknowledged, consequently serving over the course of the years as a North Korean contention for expanding pressures with the South, driving even to head-on conflicts. For example, in 1999, when North Korean watchboats disregarded the line, bringing about serious gunfire trade, with 30 mariners killed and 70 injured. In 2010, North Korea fired on some South Korean islands, injuring dozens of South Koreans, which was another noteworthy incident. However, the occasion that actually nearly dove the promontory back into war likewise happened in 2010, when a South Korean corvette detonated, killing 46 mariners, a blast that South Korea claims was crafted by North Koreans. Lately, the circumstance in that stretch of ocean has been more quiet, yet in 2023 it started to disintegrate quickly, with North Korea in any event, shelling the regional waters of the South Korean islands, with these pressures finishing in an extremely forceful discourse by despot Kim Jong-Un on January 15th, telling Parliament that the constitution will be changed, so South Korea is formally acknowledged as foe number 1, with the tyrant going significantly further, saying that the attack and complete extension of South Korea under the North Socialist banner will be accommodated in the new North Korean constitution. Additionally, Kim Jong-un stated that he does not recognize the Northern Limit Line and warned the United States that if they interfere in the region, their nuclear weapons will completely destroy them. The declarations of the current dictator, who promises to annex the South by force and war, contrast with those of his father and grandfather, who have always viewed South Korea as a territory that must be reunified through peaceful reconciliation. There will be no room for peace if Kim Jong-un effectively amends the constitution by adding terms like forced reunification with the South through war, since the North will no longer officially recognize a peaceful solution. Furthermore, on the off chance that the new tyrant's constitution proclaims as far as possible line unlawful, an outfitted struggle could really start around there, a contention fit for spreading quickly all through the promontory, reviving a conflict that beginning around 1953 had been on stop mode, however presently significantly more serious, because of the atomic munitions stockpile of the North Korean despot and his inexorably cozy relationship with Vladimir Putin. If you are not yet subscribed to the channel, subscribe now and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any news. Share and leave suggestions, criticisms, or ideas for the channel.